People are important. We need people. Now, this seems like common sense, and in a way, it really is. But at the same time, due to rapid emergence and adaptation of technology in our daily lives, the amount of required personal interaction that we have is reducing drastically every day. For example, if I needed directions to a new location, I could probably just use a GPS. If I needed help with my career path, I could probably just Google that. If I needed help with a do-it-yourself home project, for example, I can probably find a YouTube tutorial to help me. This is not to say that technology is bad. I love technology. I'm a computer scientist. It's my job. But at the same time, these examples show how our instincts are changing. In the old days, we used to turn to people. For any time that we needed help, we would turn to people. And now, we turn to technology. However, the thing that I want to drive home today is that people are the greatest resource that we can have. Let's talk about the scope of conversation. This is one of my favorite ways to look at why people are so important in our lives. For example, if I was looking for a job, I could go to Google and I could just search software developer, Vancouver, BC. And I would get a very big list of all the positions in Vancouver for software developers. That's great, that's exactly what I was looking for, and I got it. However, if I were to talk to a recruiter, for example, and I gave them my skill set, I gave them my career aspirations, and I gave them the requirements for the job that I want, they might turn to me and say, I don't think you should go into software development. I think you should try project management. And I would probably react by saying, what's project management? And that's exactly my point. It is not what I was looking for. It was not within the scope of my conversation. However, here is a person who is telling me that I know what you want in your life, I know what you're good at, and this is what you should be doing. Not what you thought you should be doing, but something else completely. And that's where people are really good. People will give you information you didn't know you needed. They will give you opportunities that you didn't think existed. And that's why people are the most important resource you can have in your life. Now, I can talk about why people are important in every aspect of your life. But today, I want to specifically focus on one thing, and that's passion. I want to talk about why finding the right people is key for your passion. Now, with passion, you're always in one of two states. Phase one, you don't know what you're looking for. You haven't found it. You're constantly trying new things, asking questions, trying to put yourself out there, and trying different opportunities just so you can find that one thing that really motivates you, that really speaks to you, that really drives you. And for the majority of people, this is where we spend the majority of our lives. We spent it looking for something. Good thing is, eventually we find it. We find something that really excites us. And that's when we make the transition from phase one to phase two. Phase two is where you found it. You found something that you care about so much, you constantly think about it from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to sleep. You found your passion. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions about passion is that once you get to phase two, once you've found that one thing that excites you, that's the end of the road. You kind of just have to work with that until eventually you're done. That's it. That's the end. This is not true. Fortunately, it's a very cyclical phase. So you will find something that you care about, you will work to achieve your goals in it, and eventually you will move on and you will, again, be in phase one, and you will be constantly asking yourself questions to try and find something else, find a new passion. And constantly, you go from phase one to phase two to phase one to phase two. The good thing is, regardless of which phase you're in, the best thing to do is to find the right people. If you're in phase one, finding the right people will expose you to different opportunities and different passions that you didn't even know existed. And because of this, you'll be able to make that transition to phase two that much quicker. If you're already in phase two and you know what you're looking for, you know what you're trying to attain, having the right people in your life will open up possibilities that you didn't know existed. So the goals that you thought were impossible yesterday will now become very within your reach just because you have the right people to help you. Now, we know why finding the right people is important. I've kind of explained that. But what do they do? What do they provide outside of technology? Tools, perspectives, knowledge, guidance. There's so many things that they provide that we don't think of. But how do you actually find them? The answer is networking. Now, Webster has this fancy definition for networking, which in my opinion doesn't really mean networking. Specifically, I want to focus on that last part where it says for employment or business. This is not networking. Networking really just comes down to two words: connections and people. If you can form a genuine, authentic connection with a person, you have just networked. And for a lot of people, one of the biggest misconceptions that they have is you network with people to get help. If you need a job, or if you need a sponsorship, or if you need advice, that's when you should network, because that's when people can help you. That's not what networking is about. To network, you should form a connection so that maybe not tomorrow, maybe not a week from now, maybe not even a month, but maybe a year later, you might need something, you might need advice, you might need opportunities. And that's when you turn to your network. And there's constantly people within your network that'll turn to you for help. And the whole concept of networking is not so that you can just help yourself with something specific today, but so that you can broaden the scope of your conversation for the rest of your future. Now, I graduated from high school 2 years ago, and I've spent 1 year since in university and 1 year in the tech industry. The biggest difference that I've noticed has been the importance of networking. In high school, I never learned about networking. I didn't know what it was. In high school, I never learned about networking. I didn't know what it was. Right? And I want to talk about why that is. I want to talk about why do we not educate high school students about networking. Now, unfortunately, schools don't have the resources that they need to connect you with everyone. There are about 500 students within a school who have probably so many different interests and so many different fields that they want to pursue. You can't possibly connect everyone to everyone that they need to know. But there's basic education. When I was in high school, I learned how to write a resume and a cover letter. I don't know if that still happens. But with that, students need to learn how to network. This should be a core aspect of all high school education, just because of the importance that it has become in our society now. But what about beyond that? Once you have learned how to network, what networking is, and why you should do it, how do you actually go out there and do it? As I said, schools can't provide you that opportunity. Should you Google how to network? The answer is you need 3 things. You need tools. Tools like LinkedIn that will help you find professionals and different other academia that will connect you, that will be a part of your network. You need opportunities. You need to go to conferences. You need to go to meetings where you can actually meet these people face to face and have a conversation. And last, you need connections. Without people, you can't really network. So how do you get these? How do you find these 3? Fortunately, there are a lot of organizations out there that are meant specifically just for these 3 things. Science Expo, Junior Achievement, Chat Valley, Volunteer Canada, the next big thing. These are just a few different organizations that have chapters here in Vancouver that will help you find a group of people to help you get what you want. Now, one of my favorite quotes is that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. There are crazy, awesome people out there doing amazing things every single day. And if you want to go far, you need to find them. And if you need to find them, you need to network. Thank you.